So now we'll do the lower part of the body. So we just finished the back quite nicely. And now we're going to just come in and address the gluteals, the hamstrings, the gastrocs, the bottom of the foot, and we'll do a little adjustment to help open up the SI joint and stretch the psoas. So as we transition from the back, we're going to come in to one side so we can work on the hip. And when you are sitting, you want to be even with the hip. And you're going to reach and grab a hold here. And then you're going to apply pressure with the flat of your fist into the soft tissue of the gluteus. So again, you're in between the lateral border of the sacrum and the greater trochanter of the femur. And your acclimation could be up with an arm extended so that you can lean in with the flat of your fist. And one of the reasons I'm bringing the leg across the midline is because it rotates the hip and the musculature and the meridians come up to the surface more. So you initiate movement across the midline and apply pressure in this fashion. And just do some nice general palmar compression. You notice I'm choosing to work in a lunge position. And then you're going to change from flat of your fist to your knee. And you lean your knee in and bring it across. Again, just right in that soft tissue. Want to move it around so you get different areas. And then after you do some general loosening that way, you pin the tissue and then bring the leg back. Feel the difference in that? A little bit more, eh? So this coming back, more intense, more opening. And then I'm going to come like this. So like this, and then I'm like this. And here we're shaking the hip out of, that we just worked on. But also we're going to move down following the bladder meridian into the hamstring. So this move not only loosens the hip, but it ensures that when you put the leg down, that the hamstrings are going to receive nice pressure, like the leg's not rolled from one side to the other. So the hamstrings, 3 in number, have a common attachment at the ischial tuberosity. So we're going to use our knee to come just distal of the ischial tuberosity and compress to just the back of the knee, and we're going to use our knee. So we're going to come like this and lean in. Nice pressure of the hamstrings. So I use this leg a lot for stabilization. But also know, because of the nature of the hamstring, you could do a pin and stretch where you lean in, pin the hamstring, and then so you do a nice pin and stretch. You feel that, Paul? Opens up the hamstring a little bit. And then we're going to use some transition where we bring the heel towards the gluteal and we come over in this fashion, and then we let the leg open up into our lap. And we're going to have nice contact here and then lean back for some nice traction. We'll do that a couple of times. And where our compression left off is right at the back of the knee. So we're going to go and do circular friction right in the back of the knee, because it's not a particularly good idea to apply a lot of pressure directly in the back of the knee. Okay. But circular friction, oh yeah, because you have these attachments of the hamstrings coming down in the popliteal crease. You have the gastroc here. The plantaris, if you study that muscle, comes at an angle across the popliteal crease. And then you want to extend that into the gastroc by doing some nice petrissage. And the gastroc, 2 heads, yes, split the widest at the top. And we're going to use thumb over thumb pressure. And starting right in the middle of the knee, we're going to work straight down with nice firm pressure right in between the gastroc heads. This is bladder meridian. It goes right through the gastroc heads. And right onto the side of the foot. So usually when I do thumb compression down, and then I come to the Achilles tendon, which is the natural tendinous extension of the gastroc as it attaches to the calcaneus, we want to work that calcaneus, Achilles tendon round, and then we're going to use our arm and elbow to work the bottom of the foot a little bit. So just rolling right onto the bottom of the foot. Very nice. And supported very nice by the contour of my quad there. So it's nice supported. You want to supply a nice underlying structure so that the foot can receive the pressure. Up. Work. Foot. And then we're going to take this leg and we're going to put it in figure 4. Because we're going to do a little bit more work in the hip and then follow the gallbladder meridian as it goes through the iliotibial band and through the peroneals and into the foot. So depending on how you acclimate to the person as far as your height, size, temperament, there's a couple of ways you can position yourself. Now, I have a tendency to do this. So leg in figure 4. I take my one knee and stabilize their leg and then shift over like this so that the hip is right in front of me. Y'all come. So basically my knees are like this on either side. And this gives me the opportunity to have the hip in front of me, so I'm going to use my forearm and I'm again going to work in the soft tissue between the lateral border of the sacrum and the greater trochanter of the femur. So all this soft tissue. So I'm going to use my forearm to lean in there. And in this position, I feel like I can use my body weight pretty clearly. The pressure's okay? Not too much?
No, it's good.
So you want to work all that area in between sacrum and greater trochanter. Scream if you need to. I can take that out of the video. It's no problem. Post-production makes everything look good. Okay. Then I'm going to use my other forearm. You could either use the palm of your hand or your forearm to work the iliotibial band. Because if this is too much bending for you, then you could work with your body open more so that you could utilize your body weight a little bit. So whatever works for you, and I want you to try them both. So you can lean in, working, and make sure that you include compression into the peroneals for that lower portion of gallbladder. Down and do the source point for gallbladder, gallbladder 40, right in front and at the bottom of the lateral malleolus, into the top of the foot and out the 4th toe, and then grab a hold of the ankle and with your body weight just lean back, bringing their knee towards the midline. And then you're going to come up to a standing position, holding the foot. And the foot that's closest to their head, you're going to lift it up and place the arch over their lower back. Not on the sacrum, but above the iliac crest, right in the lower back. And this is very, very light pressure. Very light. But what we're going to do is bend at our knees to grab a hold of the foot, and we're going to lift up, stretching, stretching. I would recommend doing that a couple of times. Okay, Paul? Stretch. And then we're going to lower this leg. Come down. Like this. Lift this up for now we're on the side that we need to be, where we can go right into this and do the other side. So that's the transition. Remember, the intention here is this particular compressing hamstring. I'm using my knee. Works quite well. But, you know, easy too. This feels better. If being so low after a while bothers your back, right? Or you can come at it like this. You know, think about what works better for you. If you're coming from that place, then your shiatsu will be good. The transition is to bring the heel to the gluteal. Okay. Come down, stretch. Circular friction behind the knee. Touch massage of the gastroc. Some thumb pressure right between the gastroc heads. Working the Achilles tendon. And then providing a nice base with the contour of your leg so that you can lean in with your forearm and elbow and work the bottom of the foot. Figure 4. You can make this a portion of the technique even more specific to the attachments of the gluteal and rotator muscles if you take the time to go right up against the lateral border of the sacrum. So if you're directing your pressure towards the lateral border of the sacrum, that way you get all the attachments of the gluteals. And then when you're in between the sacrum and the greater trochanter, if you just sink straight down, that gives you nice direct access to the bellies of the 6 deep lateral rotators. And then if you change your acclimation and do pressure towards the greater trochanter, this whole contour, you get the attachments again of the lateral rotators, because they attach off of the greater trochanter like spokes of a wheel coming from the center arm. And then continued pressure from that point down into the iliotibial band, this portion of the gallbladder meridian. The lower aspect of the lower lateral compartment of the leg for gallbladder, the source point, out the 4th toe, bring the leg back, up, even, very light pressure here, bend at the knees, not at the back, at the knees, nice contact, inhale, exhale. Rather than leaning back, you just sort of stand up. That usually gives them some nice stretch. If you're working on someone and they have a lot of flexibility this way and you feel like you're not doing them a service, you could come off like this and put your hands above their knee. So my fingers are intertwined now. And you could rest them on your knee and rock back this way. More. Follow more. Or else you can just sit down.
Cool.
Stabilize their lower back. Even. Okay? And then we're going to end, after doing both legs, by doing a little lifting. So let your legs relax. So I come up and I put one foot in between her knees. And again, I'm lifting with my legs, so I'm lifting up. Up. You bring the legs down. Put the retinaculum of their ankles on your patellas. Grab a hold of their calcaneuses. So a chair, posture.
Cool.
Bring the feet back, and you could either use your knees or your feet, letting your weight shift from side to side.